Well, hello one all, welcome back to the Purple Rain podcast. I know, yeah, Sharky, I know. Okay, so we've had a few days now to, sink it all in. I know. Was that so corny or what? Yeah, I know. Okay, we've had a few days now to gather our thoughts, gather our composure on it, let the news, sink in. This is just crazy times for me, guys. I'm still literally, I'm still weighing up at the thought that the PWHL is coming to San Jose next year. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I cannot believe it. So, yeah, it's crazy. That's so crazy. So, this is a very important episode because obviously I need to explain my situation going forward when it comes to the PWHL. But as you guys know, I am a day one supporter and advocate to the PWHL and my team Minnesota. And as you also know, especially if you listened to the San Jose Sharks podcast I did called Team Report, I did that for 7 seasons. We wrapped up our last season last year. That was crazy because going into last season, I had no intention of that to be the last one. But then, as the season went on, I kind of felt it was the right time to say let's call it a day. And we'll just do some tour put bids every now and then. And so forth. I am working on a new AHL show. That reflects my dual affiliation with Sharky and Nordy. That's still in the workshop, by the way. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, situation now, I'm a lifelong San Jose Sharks supporter. I've been with the Sharks for 17 years now, and I know, I'm getting old. I know. I've been with them for 17 years. Yeah, so obviously San Jose to me has felt like a home from home. I've been there a few times now, and love every second of it. It's just horrible. I do struggle to find things to do when the hockey's not on. Same with Minnesota this year, although we didn't really get that much opportunity to go into Minnesota. Obviously you know why. Check the top up if you want to know about that. Yeah. So it's just, but honestly, I'm so excited for the PHL to come to San Jose and have a team in San Jose. But it does, of course, put me in a little bit of a predicament, and I have actually messaged Jocks and Jills about this to try and get their advice on what the hell I'm gonna do. What the hell am I gonna do? Because in a way, I kind of now am in a dual affiliation, guys. Because there's no way that I can switch teams. No way. I'm the one thing I pride myself on is loyalty. I am loyal to the bone. Okay? And I have proven that the best with my sports teams over the years in various different sports leagues. I've been through the good, the bad, the ugly, and there have been times where they've literally made me want to walk away, but I've still stuck through thick and thin. So loyalty is the thing that I pride the most on being. So there's no way that I can switch teams. Okay. And I know some of you would be thinking it would be very easy for me to just switch over and switch allegiances. Nah, that's not happening. That is not happening. Okay, I picked the Frost for a reason back in 2023, and I picked that team as my team. This is the team I'm going to be involved with for life. Okay, so that is the deal. Alright, same as I did with Sharky back in 2009. Okay? In fact, because of San Jose was the reason why I went with the Frost, because obviously, Taylor Schofield, she did spend a season with our Sharks broadcast team. And so I thought, right, I gotta go there. I can handle the West Coast time zones a lot better than the East Coast time zones. That's it, job done. And I've been very happy to have been a part of Minnesota from the very beginning. Obviously, me personally, we had just like the best time out there back in March, and we're looking very forward to getting back out there again. Obviously, now we've got to try and work out how do we do it with San Jose in the mix. See what you've done. See what you've done. I'm not sure about would speak to Nordy if I was you, Sharky, but look what you've done. I know he's pleased himself. Yeah. So I'm going to talk you through how it's going to work now going into 2026-27 for me, regards to the PWHL. Obviously, I will still call the Minnesota Frost my team. But what I am going to be doing is I will be adopting PWHL San Jose as a second team. Now, this is what I did do with the AHL, with the situation with Sharky and Nordy. Okay? So, obviously, before the PWHL, I looked at the Wild and thought, yeah, they're alright team, they're not that bad. Plus, we're conference rivals, so we don't really see each other that much. In the AHL, you only see your conference rivals in the upper division. You only see them 3 times. So obviously, each conference has 2 divisions. You see all your division teams an equal number of times, and then the other division in your conference, you only see them 3 times a year. So it alternates. So one year, Nordy would come to us twice, we would go to him once, and another year we would go to him twice, and he would come to us once. It alternates every other year. Okay, I think next year we've got just the 1 trip to Minnesota. I think next year, I think we have, because he came to us once. That was on New Year's Eve. So next year we'll be hosting Nordy twice. We will go to him once. And I think Minnesota Wild fans might be happy about that, given how we kind of spanked their backsides this year, didn't we? Yeah, that was for 3 free games this year. So a great way to christen my dual affiliation. Yeah. So before the PHL, I looked at the Wild, thought, yeah, they're alright, they're not bad. And then when obviously the PHL began in 2023, I then started to form a friendship with the Wild, and then, got me thinking, well, if I'm lucky to get out to Minnesota one day, what happens if there's a Wild game when we're there, but we're only there for the Frost? So this season I officially began my dual affiliation. So at the end of last season, because obviously we weren't really thinking about doing this trip at the end of last season. So at the end of last season, I made it official that I would adopt the Wild as my second team, and what it meant that on days when Sharky and Nordy are not playing each other, I can also root for Nordy as well as sticking to my loyal allegiance to Sharky. Okay? So that is basically how it's going to work in the PWHL. The Frost are still my team, but I will be adopting PWHL San Jose. And the only times I can't give PWHL San Jose a cheer is when they will play the Minnesota Frost, whether that is at Grand Casino Arena or at SAP Center, or if the 2 meet on the Takeover Tour. You never know. We're still at the time of recording this episode on May the 21st. We are still waiting to hear how the scheduling is going to work next year. You cannot still make it 30 games. Come on. Amy, Jada, come on. No, it's not going to work. It will not work. Come on. We need a bigger schedule, and now we've got 12 teams. That should be doable, especially as the World Championships are not going to get in the way anymore. So come on. Give us more games. Say 36, 40 in that region. Somewhere between that. Between 30. Well, me and Lady Boy said go 36, and Per's been like 40. So maybe between that. Come on. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how many times San Jose Minnesota are going to play next year. in the PWHL. Hopefully it's a decent amount of times. But yeah, so that's how it's going to work. So, in case any of you wondering, and I know it probably did cross my mind as well, what's going to happen now? No, I am still going to stay loyal to the Frost. The Frost are still my team. It's just from next year, I will also have a second team to keep an eye on. So that's going to be really exciting. The fact, because obviously me personally upped our PHL coverage this year to watch as many games as possible, it's given us a good dry run for how that will work. Watching other games where you don't have to have the stress of, oh, you need the output to go your way, because you can just sit there and watch them and just, And watching the other teams' games this year, it actually felt less stressful, even though those results still affect your position in the standings. Because it wasn't your team playing in that game, you could just sit there and watch it and not feel the stress that you have sometimes when you watch the PHL. Because, for years, Jose, you've got no idea how stressful this league is. Okay? This league is ultra super competitive. Every game is a rivalry night. Every game is a must-win game. Every game is bad when it comes to getting points. And it's to be so competitive. So, just to warn you now, as much as it's a fun league, it also does come with some stress. So maybe get a stress toy in for next year. We've got one. It's called Chance to Kill a Monster. Brilliant. All you have to do is just get him out and just whack him on the desk a few times. It just gets the anger out. It's brilliant. It works every time. Should film it. Put it on Instagram. Sure, not sure. Yeah. And you squeeze it. I bash it and you squeeze it. And we see he then puts himself back to shape. Quite fun. It's quite fun. Yeah. So that's that. Also, the dual affiliation means that I will be obviously following PWHL San Jose on all the various socials. In fact, if you check out my Blue Sky, you will know that I follow every single PHL team on Blue Sky. So there you go. I should just get them followed on all my socials and I'd be done with it. Yeah, that's me, Toad! That's me, Toad! You barely enter the league already. You tell me what to do! Look at that! Look at that! He's already bossing around as it is. Look at that! Look at that. Look at that. I will also have some PWHL San Jose gear ordered because I do have in my wardrobe. I have the mix of Sharks gear and Wild gear, both jerseys and t-shirts. So that's what I will do next year. I'll get some San Jose, PWHL San Jose gear to go alongside my Frost gear to the t-shirt department. We are going to be doing a jersey collection, by the way. I've decided that I'm going to be doing a jersey collection of all the PHL teams. And the idea is we'll have one jersey for each PHL team in my wardrobe. And it'll be really helpful for future episodes of this podcast. So if we do want to put a specific team, we can just put that team's jersey on and it will feel more, aesthetic to that particular team. But for PHL San Jose, you will have two in my wardrobe. Oh yeah. As you know, it is tradition when you enter the league, you get given this style of jersey, so with the diagonal lettering. So have a look, Sharky. This is what you'll be wearing next year, right? So this will be in orange for you. Okay. So you'll have San Jose down, like diagonal lettering. That's what your jersey will be for year one. Then year two, so the 27-28 season, that's where you'll get the crest, the team crest put on. So if you get your name and brand by November, you still have to wear this card jersey for year one. Okay, that's how it works. So there will be two PHL San Jose jerseys in my wardrobe by the end of 2027. One will be their year one jersey, which of course will be for 26-27. And then the other will be their standard jersey, which of course will have the team crest on. Okay, so that would be... Okay, yeah, so we are going to do a jersey crest. It's something I've been thinking about since Season 2, because obviously in Season 1 we only had these, and then in Season 2 everyone got their names and brands, and they're just all brilliant. And when we did the jersey brand reveal for the Overall 6, when we did at that episode, I did on the episode say that I could consider getting all those jerseys. I thought it was a hot mic moment, but it wasn't. It wasn't. He thought it was a hot mic moment. He thought, "Oh, did not realize the camera was still up." But it's like, no, it wasn't. It was not. I don't mean it. And with Zaze now getting a team, I pretty much want to do it. So yeah, so that's gonna be happening. Yeah, so you will see me in a fair mixture of Zaze and Minnesota gear for the PHL. Yeah. And of course, the final thing is trips. So we need to do an episode explaining what we want to do in terms of travel. I think we do. Yeah. So obviously, I've been to San Jose a few times for the PHL, and of course, back in March, I did do Minnesota for the PHL. I was hoping I could do one more Minnesota trip before going back out to San Jose, because we didn't get that much opportunity to explore Minnesota. So I was kind of hoping maybe I could get like one more trip into Minnesota first, and then consider going back to San Jose. But oh no, that's going to change now, won't it? Yep. Yeah. So I think over the summer, I'm going to need to look into how do I do Minnesota and San Jose in the same trip. And ideally, what I think I'd like to do would be to get a Frost homestand in Minnesota, and then get a PHL San Jose homestand in San Jose, and then that would work well. And that means I could get to have more games. So if it is still going to be 30, then I will feel like I'll have got more PHL games in terms of trips. Because obviously, that 3-game host that we had back in March, it was not enough. And me, personally, we knew that trip was going to go quick. It was pretty much, we were only really there for a week. Think about it, we were only there for a week. We flew out on the 12th of March and then flew back on the 19th of March. So we were only really there for a week. And it went by too quickly. So, if we are going to be stuck at 30 games for now, then if we can do like a combined trip of both cities, that means we could potentially get maybe 6 or 7 PHL games in, and that would be really good. And then we feel like we've got more of our money's worth. As for me, whenever I've been to the States, I always want to make sure I can get out there for as many games as possible, because every second in the States counts, because you never know when you're going to have to then get back out there. Let's go, we've got a lot of travel plans we want to do with this league over the next few years. So I think what's going to happen, I don't know if it's going to be next season. If it's not 26-27, it'll be during the 27-28 season. Obviously, we need to wait for schedules and see what mood I'm in come late September, early October, which is probably we'll get the schedules out. I need to see what kind of mood I'm in. Yeah, so we're gonna probably do a combined trip. So what it would be is we'll start in one city and do a homestand there, and then we would go to the other city and do a homestand there, and then come back into the UK. Yeah, but I need to look up if there are direct flights between Minneapolis and San Jose, and if so, how long do they take, and how would it all work? So you might be put on the back foot just a little bit more longer, my finned friend. Oh yeah. Because chances are, if I come out to San Jose, it might not be for you. It might just be for the PWHL. I know. He's not so high and mighty now, is he? No, he's been put back down to earth. But who knows? Maybe you could come to a PHL game. You're always welcome, Sharky. I don't get why I didn't get to see Nordy when we were in Minnesota. I mean, I know we're already there for the Frost, but, you know, nothing to stop Pip from doing double duty. I bet Sharky will do it. Because Sharky is the most hardest working fish in sports. I bet he will do double duty. You know? Nordy, when I'm next back in Minnesota, come and say hello. It's not a wild game. Alright? So, yeah. Yeah. Ideally, I think I would like to get trips where I don't have to see the two teams together. Because I don't know if I can handle it. I honestly don't know if I can This is going to be so good. I'm dreading this next. The only thing I'm dreading about next season is what happens when we get to that first match between the Frost and San Jose. Because what the fuck am I supposed to do? What the fuck? I think when it comes to Sharky Nordy, I think I could handle a Sharks wild game in San Jose, but not in Minnesota. And I think with the PHL, it's probably the other way round. I could handle the San Jose team coming to Minnesota, but I don't think I can handle the Frost being in San Jose. It just would be... Oh my god. I've spent my whole life cheering for teams to win in that building, and now I've got to root for teams against them. I know, this is going to be hard for me than it is for you, my friend. I know, I spent years rooting for Stars 18s in that building. Now I've got to root against them. What's the world come to? I don't know. Yeah, this time. I think also we will do an episode where I talk my travel plans. We'll get Play to come on and we'll go in detail about it. We'll talk about the many travel plans we want to do with this league over the next few years. And with you now joining the lead, Sharky, it actually might help a bit more than it would have. Yeah. So I just felt I needed to come and make this episode today because I needed to do it for myself and I wanted to do it for you guys because I imagine there's probably a lot of you out there taking a lot of my fellow Sharks fans and thinking, oh, what's he gonna do now? What's he gonna do now? Now we've entered the fray. Well, it's basically dual affiliation. Okay? So the Frost will stay my team, but I will be adopting PWHL San Jose as a second team, which will be really helpful to playoffs. Because if one team doesn't make it, the other does. I can then just root for that team regardless, rather than having to just lend my support. Because in situations when the Frost don't make playoffs or not in the finals, I then lend my support to the other teams. But if it's a San Jose as in, I wouldn't need to do that. I could just support. No problem. Like I did with Nordy in the Cycle Burst this year. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting times. It's going to be exciting times ahead. Obviously, I cannot wait to see what name brand you are going to do. So I can stop referring to it as PWHL San Jose because it is a bit of a tongue twister. Yeah, but exciting times ahead. And you're going to have to get used to wearing orange, my friend. I know. But don't really... I was quite surprised when that colour scheme now because orange isn't really a colour used in San Jose much anymore. I mean, Frenzy did used to wear... Your little brother, Frenzy, did used to wear it. He used to have a... Back in his early days, he used to have a really gorgeous orange jersey as an alternate. He hasn't really worn that for quite a few years now. Definitely not since the move to Texas U. We don't really... Orange is not really a colour we really use in San Jose. But it's to hark to the flag of San Jose, which I did look up a few years ago. It was when American Song Contest was happening. And I thought, what? The States have flags? So I thought, I better to look this up. We don't have flags here in the UK, by the way, for respective cities and towns, by the way. We don't have that. Okay, so if you're thinking, does Manchester have flag? No, we don't. But apparently, cities and states in America do! But look up. Yeah, so if you've seen the flag of San Jose, it is orange. It's mainly orange and white. There's a bit of blue as well, but it's not really visible for me to see with my eyes. So it's a hark to that. We'll see what aquatic creatures could work with that colour scheme. We'll see. Come on, Hammerheads. I'm rooting for Hammerheads. I'm lobbying Hammerheads, just like the mayor is for that name. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so we're excited. So yeah, so who would have thought it 3 years ago that I would enter a dual affiliation? I know, who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that, you know? Who would have thought? Because obviously, it was back in September of 2023 when I chose my PHL team. It was just a few days before the draft was going away. Because a few days before the entry draft of 2023, we had the free agents got announced, and that's when I was able to pick Minnesota as my team. Who would have thought back then I would then have to have a second team added to my, my arsenal. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good. And I think what's been really good, doing it this year, the dual affiliation in the NHL this year, it's really helped me get an idea of how it works, how it feels. Because for me, it didn't feel weird, putting wild gear on. I know it's been weird for you. I know you did not like me wearing that wild jersey for the last game. No, you did not. You did not. He's get Gonna have to get used to it, I'm afraid. Got to get used to it. You do love naughty though. You got very power naughty, which is really good. Because I was worried about that. I was worried that you and naughty weren't gonna be friends, but thankfully you are friends. Are you trying to go for your ducky? Okay, let's bring Ducky out. Come on, let's bring Ducky out. I know. You've been a very good boy today on the show. So let's go on. We'll let him have a moment with his Ducky. Ducky. There we go. Ducky. Ducky. Yes, Ducky's still your best friend. Ducky. Yeah. Ducky's still your best friend, but thankfully he and Naughty are also friends too. That I was worried about. That I was very worried about, but luckily no, it's all fine. What have you been, Sharky? Should we say next year go to Ducky's bar for a Takeover Tour game? Because I mean, San Diego was thrown into the mix as a last minute potential candidate. So who knows? Maybe, and I do know that the Ducks are the only tent in Honor Center. So who knows? I mean, California might be a bit too big for us to have our own. But anyway, I know. Let's put Ducky over there. Let's take him back over there. Come on, there we go. Bye, Ducky. Ducky. Duck. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Wait, this season, starting the affiliation with the AHL has really been like a good trial run for how it feels, and it worked fine there. So there's no reason why it's not going to work in the PWHL. Plus, the Frost already have 2 World Cups to their name, so I don't need to worry about that. No, either, so it'll be fine. Really good. It's going to be interesting to see who PWHL San Jose is going to take from my Frost. That'll be interesting to see how that goes there. No, honestly, just really excited to begin a brand new chapter for me. This is so exciting. Obviously, the podcast will still be running as normal. No changes there. Okay. There's gonna be there's gonna be no need to change how we roll there. Largely because we covered the other teams on the bonus episodes. I think if we didn't cover the rest of the league on the bonus episodes, then maybe just I do a segment for PWHL San Jose on the main show. But nah, really that's fine. Because that's the idea with doing the bonus episodes. Because obviously there's so much more stuff we could talk about women's hockey over the year. It's too much for the main episodes, the regular season episodes, because the regular season episodes are dedicated to during the season and what's going on with the Frost. The rest of the time, we can come up here, we can, do anything we like on any other thing we want to do regarding women's sports or regarding women's hockey. We can talk about other women's hockey competitions. We can talk about the other teams in PHL. We can do all that and also have some debates as well while we're at it. So I think if we didn't have the birds episodes, then I think maybe we'd have to change how we would do Purple Rain to try and include San Jose in. But we don't do that. So don't worry, there's not going to be. Sorry, the regular season episodes will still be how they have been for the last 3 years. Nothing will change about that. Obviously, on the opening episode of season 4, I'll just remind you how the dual affiliation is going to work. But apart from that, it will be fine. It's all going to be fine. Yeah. And anytime we talk about San Jose, we'll be on the burst episodes like we do with all the other teams. Yeah. So you will from time to time see me in PWHL San Jose jersey as well as my Minnesota Frost jerseys, and we get to the other teams we'll have as well. So now the season's over, I'm going to start looking into that jersey collection, see how we can get a couple running and do it. We're going to start with the rest of our normal 16s first, and then work our way to Seattle, Vancouver, and then when the new expansion teams get their crests put on, we'll get that sorted. But San Jose, you'll get 2 jerseys in my wardrobe. You'll get a year 1, and then obviously your team jersey. The rest is just 1 per team. Okay, so. Yeah. So, that's all. So, like I said, I really wanted to do this episode today because I just need to make it clear to you guys and also make it clear for me how it's going to work now going forward. Now that San Jose is also in the league as well as Minnesota. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say it one more time before we sign off. One more time. Let's sink in. I am staying as a Minnesota Frost supporter. And I am adopting PWHL San Jose. Okay? Good. Right. Well, in that case, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us all. Until next time, take care, guys. Don't get to pull them.